An EC 103.1 sports presentation. Eureka College Red Devils men's and women's basketball on EC 103.1. This Red Devils broadcast is made possible by City Blue Technologies in Peoria, an Epson dealer serving Central Illinois with sustainable office printing solutions. By Windy Puff Pizzeria and Pub in Eureka. And by Cornerstone Family Restaurant in Eureka. Now, let's go live to the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth for coverage of today's game.
Welcome to today's first SLIAC matchup of the season between the 1-3 Blackburn Beavers and your 1-2 Eureka Red Devils here on EC 103.1. Matthew Swan, my broadcast partner, Drew Schulte, here at the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. And when it comes to looking at head-to-head matchups between the Beavers and the Red Devils, Eureka is 57-14 overall, a 30-6 record at home, a 23-10 record on the road. Remember, last game Eureka played, they hosted Blackburn. That was last year in December. Eureka won by a score of 61-50. That was all because of a very big fourth quarter in where the Red Devils outscored Blackburn 27-6. A fun thing to remember is that the last time Blackburn actually beat Eureka was all the way in 2011, so almost over a decade ago. They actually won that game. That was in February, 71 to 66 to score. Eureka coming into this one off of a loss against the Elmhurst Blue Jays. Drew, you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'd say coming off that loss against Elmhurst, there was one thing that Eureka really had one glaring issue that game, and that was their transition defense. It felt like every time that you would look up after Eureka would have a turnover or score a point, or they would just get a simple rebound. They weren't getting back on defense, and Elmhurst would just have an open layup every time. They need to cut those down and be able to not allow such easy points. Giving up those easy points, no matter who you're playing, will come back and bite you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And another cool thing to think about is that Elmhurst was 4-0 going into that game against Eureka. Even despite their perfect record, the Red Devils came in on the road, keep in mind, and put up a really tough battle. They were, going back and forth throughout the entire game, even when they were down by a large lead, like in that 11-9 run. The Red Devils still had plenty of time to come back, which is exactly what they did. Unfortunately, Eureka did have 3 opportunities to grab the lead, but Drew, you said it. A lot of turnovers, a lot of, opportunities to get those rebounds, which they did not get. And, of course, Elmhurst came out on top.
Going forward, I would say looking into this matchup, we need to take advantage of Blackburn. Their roster size is so small. They only have 7 girls active today and playing. So going forward with our big roster, we need to jump on that and take advantage of them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And for Eureka, some keys of the game. Obviously, you want points in the paint. Those are huge. You don't want to make a lot of threes if, you're heavily defended. Why would you go for something harder when you don't have to? On top of that, you want to utilize your bench players. We know people on Eureka like Alyssa Zarello. She has been huge coming off of the bench and providing efficiently for Eureka. And last but not least, a pretty obvious one, ball movement, right? We know Bryn Holtz was big last game. She provided that game-tying 3 late in the game in the fourth quarter. But you have to remember that you cannot just rely on a single player to win you games. You have to pass the ball around. Everybody needs to touch the ball at some point in the game.
And I will say going forward, touching off what you said points in the paint. We have the size advantage here with Bryn Holtz and Josie Ness. We need to utilize that going forward and really use that to our advantage.
That's
exactly right. Size is such a big thing in basketball.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Eureka, unfortunately, was outscored in almost every category against Elmhurst last game other than second chance points, which is, there is that positive that kind of stands out. But again, looking at all of those categories, it's just not good to only lead in one against your opponent. In terms of the Blackburn Beavers, remember, they jumped out in their last game to a quick 5-0 lead. There was a lot of back and forth, just like the game against the Red Devils. Unfortunately for them, Monmouth was actually leading by 2 points at the half, so not a huge lead there. Same story like the Elmhurst Blue Jays, except, obviously the Beavers, they did end up coming on top. They won that game by a score of 59-53. Obviously, there's key players on their team as well, but again, you cannot just rely on a single player to win a game. But for Eureka, you're going to have to look out for Miley Kwiatkowski. She led the team last game with 14 points. Obviously, another upperclassman, Katie Tuickton. She recorded 13 points and had 9 rebounds, nearly a double-double there. And once again, an upperclassman, junior Zoe Mitchell, rebounded 14 points off the bench.
And you won't be able to shut down those players completely. You just really got to work on limiting them.
Well, that's exactly right. It's going to be a very exciting game, and we can't wait to bring you first half coverage, but not before the national anthem and starting lineups. Stay tuned for Eureka Red Devils women's basketball here on EC 103.1.
Eureka College Red Devils basketball is made possible by Cornerstone Family Restaurant of Eureka. Locally and family-owned for nearly 25 years by Michael and Donna Sweeney, Cornerstone Family Restaurant serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. They are open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sundays, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Dine-in, carry-out, or order online, Cornerstone Family Restaurant is located on Center Street on the west edge of Eureka. Get more information or order online at cornerstone-family-restaurant.com.
Not on my watch, our military service members say, as they volunteer to serve. Not on my watch, they say, as they leave their families behind to keep the rest of ours safe. As they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve, the therapists they need to walk again, the treatment they need to talk again, the lifetime of day-to-day help they need to live full and independent lives. When there's no more government funding, or a nursing home seems like the only option, or everyone says there's no hope for recovery, we won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Find out how you can do your part at findwwp.org.
Welcome back here as we get ready for the starting lineups. Eureka coming in on the road here to Blackburn.
And you want to get a good start in the SLIAC. You don't want to start off 0-1. So these games are huge. They are just as big as the games going forward, if not the biggest game in the SLIAC. Because you never want to start off 0-1 in conference play. You always want to start off 1-0.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Something, not a lot of people keep in mind, too. And I think it's going to be, I don't want to say easy for Eureka, but I do feel as if they come in here with a bit more confidence after, almost beating an undefeated team.
And also knowing that you have such an edge on your opponent in recent history, that gives you that confidence boost, but you can't go in overconfident.
That's
you know
exactly
what I'm saying?
right.
You have to be able to control yourself and still understand that there's a task at hand. You can't, that's not going to be given to you. You got to work for it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Can't let your guard down, especially in these SLIAC games.
Especially these early ones. You don't want to dig yourself a hole in conference play and have to dig yourself out by winning every game after that. Give yourself a little cushion. Win the ones that you're supposed to win. Take care of business, and that's how you get in the conference tournament play.
That's exactly right. So starting 5 for Eureka, Maya Webb. You have Sierra Garcia-Reach, Alana Jackson, Bryn Holtz, and, of course, Maxine Najera.
I'm really excited to see what Max does in that center position today.
Yeah, and we know Max has been huge, especially she's had a lot of playing time this season for Eureka. Remember her season high just for this season, 16 points against Knox. So you're obviously hoping she carries that into this game as well, especially with it being a SLIAC game.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. You want to see, and also a big thing for Eureka is having our bench depth that we do have compared to Blackburn that does not have that bench depth. We need to be able to run the court against them, make their players tired, and take advantage.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Advantage in basketball is so huge, especially because a lot of the time you see these different teams go on all sorts of runs, and you want to try to prevent those runs. So, like you said, if a team does turn the ball over, make some sort of mistake, you are going to want to take advantage of that.
And Blackburn's going to have a small advantage, being at home. That always plays a factor.
That's
have
true.
that home crowd behind you.
That is true. It is unbelievable to me, though. I know you mentioned it in the pregame, but I'll kind of repeat it for those of you just now tuning in. Blackburn has such a very small roster. it's genuinely surprising to me because Eureka is a small school itself, so it's kind of unique to see a school kind of smaller than we are. Maybe not school, but roster.
And they could have a bigger roster. I mean, we never know what's going on over there. They could have some players injured, or who knows what's going on.
I did see one of their players on crutches. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that is something to keep in mind. She isn't in a jersey right now. But for the Beavers, starting 5 is going to be the junior Zoe Mitchell. Then you have Gracie Gent. You have Katie Tuickton. You have Ella Wilson. And last but not least, Kennedy Frey. That is something to keep in mind for Blackburn. A lot of their points in their last game came from a lot of their upperclassmen. Ready for the tip-off, Bryn Holtz. And right away, this one's going to be taken over by Maxine Najera, who is called for travel 3 seconds in the game. So already, Red Devils with their first turnover.
And those are the simple mistakes you just have to cut down if you're going to want to win a game.
Yeah, maybe just a little too anxious there. This is going to be Mitchell inbounding the basketball, trying to find somebody. She finally finds Tuickton. Nearly stripped away. Trying to find some room. And finally, Eureka does regain possession of the basketball. Webb up the floor. Left hand, no good. It's going to be rebounded there by Eureka. And a quick 2 points from Sierra Garcia-Rich. And that is how we get things started here at Blackburn College.
And, you love to see all this pressure defense causing all this chaos. It's a great sign. It gets Blackburn that pressure and wears them out, like I was saying in the open. Wearing them out is going to be huge with them only having 7 players.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Once again, Mitchell inbounding the ball with a Hail Mary, and that is picked off by Riach. Once again, she'll pass it over to Jackson, who goes across the floor. Najera thought about the corner 3, instead goes for the nice, easy layup. Another 2 points for Eureka.
Good decision there on the pump fake. Get her in the air and take it baseline.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You want to, as Holtz nearly picked that one off, but back to what you're saying, yeah, you want to try to fool your defenders, and that's exactly what Najera did right there. Nice, easy pump fake. Defender hanging in the air for a long time. That's going to win you some games. Blackburn trying to take it up the floor without losing the basketball. Wilson passes it to Frey. Into the corner, Mitchell going up for the layup, and she's blocked. No foul call, but it will stay with the Beavers.
That is a big-time block there. Those blocks will be big for your momentum, getting your momentum up and going.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Eureka needs that sort of spark that just gets them going all game long. Inbounded from Tuickton. This one in the corner, Frey, heavily guarded by Riach. Passes the ball over to Tuickton. In the corner, Gent, guarded by Webb. Great defense from Eureka all around. And finally, the shot clock runs out. No points for the Beavers. It's going to be Jackson up the floor. Into the corner. Reach thought about it. Webb with a 3. Bang! 7-0 Red Devils.
It's that pressure man-to-man defense you're seeing from Eureka. And it's not like the girls are getting too far out on help defense. They're being there for, if you get beat, they're there for help. Yeah. And that's what really needs to happen with that man-to-man defense. And you're seeing Eureka do a great job of it right now.
Yeah, and to add on to that too, I mean, it seems like every player on the Beavers who holds the ball does not have a lot of spacing between their defenders, which is what I think is causing them to turn the ball over and have a lot of trouble, as it's nearly picked off by Jackson there. And it is going to be a travel call. This one's heading over to Eureka. Well, we knew it was going to be a very exciting game. Like we mentioned earlier, there is going to be a timeout taken.
I believe that was an offensive foul on Tunikin right there.
Yeah, it could have been an offensive foul. I thought it was a travel, but yeah, I think you're right.
But going back on what you were saying the last game, how we need to limit our turnovers, when Blackburn are having these turnovers in this full court press by Eureka, we need to capitalize on that and score on our opponent's turnovers.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You just want to keep taking advantage of those free points that you have the option of gaining. Eureka College Red Devils basketball is made possible by Cornerstone Family Restaurant of Eureka, locally and family owned for nearly 25 years by Michael and Donna Sweeney. Cornerstone Family Restaurant serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. They're open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sundays, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can dine in, carry out, or order online. Cornerstone Family Restaurant is located on Center Street on the west edge of Eureka. You can get more info or order online at cornerstone-family-restaurant.com. But yeah, here we are, Blackburn once again with the basketball after a missed three from Holtz. Frey trying to find some room. And once again, Jackson comes up with the basketball, taking it up the middle, left hand, no good. And it looks like Blackburn having a tough time just getting the basketball up the floor. As Mitchell trying to dribble it, passes it to Kwiatkowski. And just like that, the whistle's going to be blown. Wilson playing a lot of heavy offense, using all 5'11" of her height to try and get through. It is going to be inbounded by Tuitkin. We know Eureka's defense has been very hot all game, even just in this short amount of time. Frey, top of the key. Once again, Eureka with another recovered turnover. Webb taking it up the floor. Passes it in the corner, reach. Once again, thinking about three. Holtz, we know how good she is from deep. Reach, top of the key with a three. No good, just short.
And I will say there, Jackson with another tip deflection on the defensive side of the ball there. She's all over the place.
And
she just gets another steal.
Yeah, spoken into existence there. Webb, left hand, nice, easy layup. 9-0, Eureka on top. Well, Andrew, we know basketball is a game of runs, and right now Eureka on a 9-0 run of their own.
And that is what you like to see right there. Limit your opponent's ability to score and get that momentum early. Don't let them get too hot there.
Yeah, you said it perfectly as Webb once again intercepts the basketball. Holtz, left hand, too strong. Webb tried to put it back up. She'll take it outside. Jackson, open three. No good. And this one's going to be rebounded by Wilson, it looks like, who passes it off to Kwiatkowski.
Two big offensive rebounds there from Eureka, too.
Yeah, and that's something we talked about also in the pregame. You mentioned earlier, too, rebounds, especially those offensive boards. We always like to remember how important those are. They give you that opportunity at some second chance points.
Want to keep the ball in your possession as long as you can.
Yep. And this one looks like it's going to go out of bounds on, I believe that was Frey, and it is going to be Eureka basketball once again.
And with that pressure defense that Eureka is bringing to the table right now against Blackburn, it's causing them to make mental errors as well, not just like them turning the ball over to us. Frey just dribbled that one off her foot and went out of bounds. I mean, that's going to happen from time to time, but that pressure defense really gets in your head as well as a basketball player.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. Blackburn already with 8 turnovers and still 6 minutes left to go here in this first quarter. Nahera at the rim trying to fight for the basketball. Great defense by Eureka to put their hands up and not foul. And this one is going to stay with the Beavers.
I could not tell who that foul was against. I think it was against Brent Holtz. That foul was against Brent Holtz down there.
Yeah, I was going to say Holtz and Nahera both down there in that action. Hands up, which is exactly what you want to do. You don't want to foul there. Once again, Eureka comes up with another turnover. Holtz pushing and fires. Unfortunately, that one's going to be a turnover caught by Mitchell. She's going to pass it up the floor. Harris, a lot of trouble, and Nahera comes up with the basketball. She's going to try for a fast break here. Euro step, layup, good. 11-0. Red Devils on top.
Forces Blackburn to take a timeout right there.
Yeah, another timeout. Both teams will take a break. So will we. Stay tuned for Eureka Red Devils basketball here on EC 103.1.
Eureka College Red Devils basketball is made possible by City Blue Technologies of Peoria, an Epson distributor serving Central Illinois. Did you know that North America consumes around 100 million pounds of toner powder annually? This is the equivalent of more than 2.5 billion plastic bottles, 9.5 billion plastic bags, or 116 billion plastic straws. Epson now has precision core heat-free printing as an alternative to laser printers. Learn about sustainable printing solutions from City Blue Technologies at citybluetechnologies.com.
Welcome back here to EC 103.1, and welcome for those of you also just now tuning in. This is a SLIAC matchup between the Blackburn Beavers, who are hosting your Eureka Red Devils. Well, so far the story has been Eureka all game, already on an 11-0 run.
And you don't want Blackburn to come out of this timeout and be able to reset and calm the chaos, calm the storm. Eureka needs to stay on track with their storm, per se, and keep causing those turnovers and keep just taking advantage of them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We know a lot of the time in recent games as well, Eureka did have a lot of momentum going forward. Like last game against Elmhurst in that fourth quarter, unfortunately they kind of got a little too excited, and obviously that caused just a lot of turnovers, which is why they ended up losing the game. But back into play here, Josie Ness coming up with the basketball. 5:25 left here in this first quarter. Jackson with a bounce pass over to Moore. Top of the key, Rutherford. Webb. Now it's Jackson. Bounce pass in the paint to Ness. That one's going to be a turnover as the Beavers running it up the floor with the basketball. Frey guarded heavily by Eureka. Here's a corner three from Gent. No good. Offensive rebound, though. That was going to be blocked, and Jackson comes up with it. Great defensive stop.
That's where that size advantage really comes in there for Ness.
Yeah, and that's something we haven't really talked about a ton, as Moore nearly with a layup of her own there. Unfortunately, not able to convert, and the whistle is going to be blown, meaning the clock will stop. Looks like that's going to be a foul. Not sure who that's against, as from our perspective, we are all the way in the corner of the gym.
I believe that was on Moore.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it.
And I will say this, it might be 11-0, Eureka might be on an 11-0 run, but you cannot get complacent. You have to keep going, and you can't let Blackburn get their way back in the game because it's still early. There's still plenty of time left.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But because of that foul, it is Blackburn basketball. The double team there, almost taken over by Rich. Ness heavily guarding Frey, who passes in the corner. And the three from Kwiatkowski is no good. Another offensive board, though, for Blackburn. Gent, top of the key, passing in the corner to Mitchell. Once again, back to Gent, now Frey. Tipped by Moore. It's going to go out of bounds. And I believe this one will stick with the Beavers, but, I mean, Eureka's defense continues to shine.
The only thing I could say about their defense right now is they need to get the rebounds and limit the offensive boards. Especially with the size advantage we have, we should not be giving up that many offensive boards because it will come back to bite us. It hasn't yet, but it might. We don't want that to be the case.
Yeah, that's a great point. Blackburn is outnumbering Eureka in offensive rebounds up to this point, as there's a mid-range by Frey, no good. Jackson once again up with the basketball. Across the court, Abascal to Moore, corner three, no good. Blackburn up with the basketball, nearly taken away by Abascal. And it looks like we have a player hurt as Kwiatkowski on the floor. And that is a nice, easy layup from Alyssa Abascal to make it 13-0. But back to the injured player, Miley Kwiatkowski. Looks like that right leg.
And you hate to see that, but for Eureka, they didn't give up on the play and played it until the whistle's out. You hate to see that for Blackburn, though. They already are low on numbers as it is.
Yeah, that's true. And it's a good thing to see that she's up with assistance, but you have to keep in mind, obviously you want to watch out for the safety of Kwiatkowski and the health, but for Blackburn as a team, I mean, they're already so short-staffed. Now you have to think, what kind of roster movements are going to be made.
It is going to be a heavy workload for the Blackburn Beavers going forward because they came into this game with a roster of 7. Having 7 dressed for the game today.
Yeah, that's right.
That knocks them down to 6. It's going to be a heavy workload for the Beavers going forward.
An air ball there from Blackburn. I believe that was Gent on the attempted three. Abascal is going to get called for a travel, and yeah, I saw that one. She tried to stop her pivot foot, spin around, and she did make the basket, but it is going to be a travel against Alyssa Abascal.
You just got to be careful with that pivot foot going forward. You can't be moving it left and right. It's got to stay planted in the ground. And they know that. They've been playing their whole lives.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it looks like there's going to be another timeout here. Once again, we will also take a break, but Eureka off to a very hot 13-0 start. Stay tuned. You are listening to Eureka Red Devils basketball here on EC 103.1 from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth.
Eureka College Red Devils basketball is made possible by Wendy Puff Pizzeria and Pub in Eureka. Locally owned by Mike and Bob Mayo, Wendy Puff Pizzeria offers a unique variety of pizzas, appetizers, salads, and desserts. Wendy Puff is open Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 and Fridays and Saturdays from 4 to 10. Wendy Puff Pizzeria and Pub at 112 South Main Street in downtown Eureka. They also offer online ordering at wendypuff.com.
Welcome to EC 103.1. Coming out of a timeout, Eureka leading this SLIAC matchup against the Blackburn Beavers 13-0. Eureka basically having an answer for everything that the Beavers have to offer. Once again, that great defense from Eureka continues to shine as Tuickton, top of the key, guarded heavily by Webb, and it's going to be Frey trying to push through contact, and she gets the layup and the foul call. She'll be sent to the line.
Whenever you play that strict defense, that up and pressure defense, you're going to have foul calls. It's going to happen, but that's the risk you run playing that type of defense, and so far I wouldn't stop. It's working out really well for Eureka right now.
Yeah, that's right. Eureka College Red Devils basketball is made possible by City Blue Technologies of Peoria, an Epson distributor serving Central Illinois. Did you know that North America consumes around 100 million pounds of toner powder annually? This is the equivalent of more than 2.5 billion plastic bottles, 9.5 billion plastic bags, or 116 billion plastic straws. Epson now has precision core heat-free printing as an alternative to laser printers. You can learn about sustainable printing solutions from City Blue Technologies at citybluetechnologies.com.
Big three there from Eureka.
Yeah, and Frey did convert with that extra point to make it. It is now 16-3. Eureka on top as Blackburn throws it out of bounds.
This Eureka defense just causing chaos, forcing turnovers. We love to see it.
Yeah, we will take it all day. As for Eureka, we now see Rutherford on the floor along with Alyssa Zarello, who now has the basketball, trying to find room, passes it up to Rutherford. Top of the key, Moore thought about the three, gets her defender in the air. Rutherford, open three, no good. And it's going to be rebounded by Blackburn. That's going to be huge for Blackburn. Obviously, defensive rebounds are something you almost think are natural, but we know how aggressive Eureka's been all game, so you got to watch out if you're the Beavers. Moore heavily guarding. This one nearly taken away by the Red Devils. Abascal blocks that one there. Ness comes up with it. She's going to pass to Zarello, who slips, it looks like, and doesn't come up with the rebound. Puts it back up and good.
That's how you stay with it right there. Never give up on your play.
Yeah, she was able to get her own rebound there. Make it 18-3. Eureka on top.
Just swarming the Beavers on defense.
Offensive board there. Another offensive board, and Wilson able to put it up. Their fifth point of the game. And yeah, you also, despite being up by so much, you do want to try to eliminate those offensive rebounds because players like Wilson and Frey will make that happen as Ness comes up with a mid-range two. Eureka on top 20-5. Blackburn will take another timeout. We're going to keep things here, though.
Yeah, and to go off what you were saying with the offensive rebounds, Wilson had two chances down there in the paint. She got a rebound, missed the putback layup, and then got her own rebound and made the second one. If you give a player, especially at the collegiate level, that many opportunities, it's bound to bite you. And that's what happened to the Eureka Red Devils right there.
Yeah, especially at that mid-range kind of area. Obviously, if it's a three-point shot, it is going to be a little bit more difficult. But either way, you don't want to take that chance, especially if you're Eureka trying to win, your first SLIAC conference game of the season.
And if you're Eureka, you don't want to get complacent here. It's 20-5. Yeah, you're up by 15 with a minute left in the first. You want to keep your foot on the gas here and really, A, make a statement in the SLIAC, and B, it's still early in the game. You don't want to give Blackburn that chance to get back into the game.
Yeah, that's the thing, too, is that other teams do check in on the SLIAC standings every once in a while, and they do look at scores. And, obviously if Eureka comes in here and blows out Blackburn, other teams are going to take note of that. Something to remember is that the Red Devils were actually predicted to come in 7th this season based on the preseason poll. They're 9 points behind Spalding in that poll. So Eureka obviously wanting a lot to prove against these other SLIAC teams as Frey heavily guarded. And it looks like that's going to be a turnover.
3 seconds in the lane.
Yeah. little too much time there. And once again, Schulte, as you mentioned, it's that Eureka defense that just comes to haunt Blackburn.
Yeah, whenever you have the ball down there in the paint and you have 3 or 4 defenders around you, it feels like there's nothing you can do. I've been in that situation personally, and it's a terrible situation. So that's where Eureka's defense is doing really well.
Yeah, that's right. And that one's going to be a turnover. It looked like Jackson maybe overthrew it a little bit as Mitchell comes up with it. Nearly taken away there, and that one is going to be fought over between Najera and I believe that's Wilson on the ground. Looks like this one is going to stay, I believe, with Blackburn. It's going to be Mitchell to inbound it. But with 15.3 seconds left in this first quarter, Eureka is on top 20-5. So a very offensive first quarter for the Red Devils, as it'll be Frey, top of the key, guarded by Rich, trying to find some space, passes it over to Wilson, fighting in the paint, pushing, and the basket will not be good for Tuitkin, but she will get fouled, so she'll have a trip to the line.
I believe that foul was on Jackson. Jackson is putting her name on this game early with all the turnovers she's creating, all the deflection she's causing on the defensive end, just making a statement early.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And again, that's what you want to do. And if you're Coach Hedrick right now, obviously you're going to be happy seeing these kind of results from your team, especially in this important of a game. As Tuitkin is only able to knock down one of the 2 free throws. Webb trying to get a shot before the clock expires, gets a 3, no good. And I'm not sure if it would have counted either way, but by the end of the first quarter, the Red Devils are on top 20-7. Very hot offensive start.
Yeah, and going forward, you want to keep your foot on the gas here. Don't change anything that you've done. What's working is working. Don't change it up. And one thing we have to recognize is Blackburn is down a player, and they've only started with 7 players to begin with anyways. So what you're going to do here is I would keep your foot on the gas and keep pressuring them. They're going to get really tired because they can't sub anybody in and out. They only have that one sub, and they have to use them very sparingly. And if you're Blackburn, you have to be scared here because you cannot get in any foul trouble at all. Or else, if, say, 2 of your players foul out and they get a foul again, that's going to be a technical foul, and that's free points.
That's right.
Blackburn's coach has to be very smart here with what he does going forward.
Yeah, and I think that's something that Blackburn kind of has to keep in mind, and maybe that's why they're playing defense so loosely, is because, you know, even the slightest bit of contact, they know that the ref will call that for a foul. And, of course, you know, like as you mentioned earlier, that short roster, you just cannot afford to lose any more players than you already have. As we know, I believe it was, I forgot who it was that got injured earlier, but I believe it was Kwiatkowski. It was that right leg, and, you know, you just hate to see it happen, but all you can do is try to work through every obstacle you face.
And one thing I do love about the Eureka Red Devils is their coach, Hendricks, running up and down the sideline with his team. As a player, that's got to get you fired up going forward. Wanting to play for a guy that shows that much energy for you, you love to see it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about Eureka coaches. They will be there with you every single second, and they are so encouraging. And, of course, they just want to see you, perform the best to your ability, and that's what they're doing. So great job there from head coach Mike Hedrick. But it looks like both teams ready to start the second quarter as we see the 10 minutes on the clock. Eureka on top 20-7.
And going forward here, you have to expect that coach wants Eureka to have that same intensity, that same mindset going forward. Another 20-point quarter here would be huge for the Red Devils going into half.
Yeah, especially if they're able to limit Blackburn to only 7 again, maybe even less, would obviously be picture perfect as Webb crossover 3, bang! 23-7.
That's a huge shot, making a statement coming out of the break.
Yeah, and to me, off the dribble threes are some of the hardest things you can do. You saw Webb try and make that crossover move, which she did successfully, and get the shot up very quickly. Nice easy swish through the basket to make it a 23-7 game.
I believe that was a foul there on Najera.
Yeah, it did. I did hear the whistle be blown as Eureka back with the basketball. Najera pump fake, gets the basketball back, and the layup is no good. This one's going to be taken over by, I believe that's Kwiatkowski back on the floor. So it's a good thing to see she's okay. No foul call there, but a nice, easy layup.
That was a tough finish there.
I was actually going to say maybe not easy because she did have to fight through contact, but Tuitkin with a two points to her account. Jackson passes in the corner to Webb, but it does go out of bounds, and it's going to go back to the Beavers.
We cannot, like we saw what happened last game against Elmhurst, we do not want that to be the case here against Blackburn.
Yeah, that's right. Eureka already at 9, but that's nothing compared to Blackburn's 16 turnovers.
And we want to make sure that it stays that way. We want Blackburn to have, obviously, a lot more turnovers than we have, and we need to win that battle. Therefore, that leads to more points. We win the game. As a SLAC opener, you need to have a statement win.
That's exactly right. Yeah, we mentioned like a lot of the tougher teams in the conference too, they're going to be watching these games. And again, if you're Eureka, you just want to get your name out there. Holtz with a 3. Bang! Back-to-back threes for Eureka. Webb and Holtz both playing really great offensively like always. And that's going to be a turnover on Blackburn as Harris couldn't come up with it.
Could not find Harris underneath.
Yeah, it was kind of like a baseball pass across the court, and it did tip off of Harris's right hand and went out of bounds.
And if you're Blackburn, you got to be very disappointed with that because Harris was wide open underneath the basket.
Yeah, you saw Holtz kind of panic for a second trying to get over there, and if Harris was able to come up with that, I don't think Holtz would have been there in time. Could have been another 2 points for Blackburn.
Or worse comes to worse, Holtz makes a bad decision, has a foul there, and gets her another foul, and sends her to the line.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Holtz already 1 foul to her account, as the 3 from Webb is no good there. Holtz up with the rebound. Nahida through the hands, and this one's going to be a layup. Good by Redgate.
That was just right place, right time.
Yeah, Redgate coming into this one with a 37.5 field goal percentage. And once again, another interception there from Eureka as Redgate once again, another layup.
4 quick points for Redgate right there. Right place, right time.
Yeah, exactly. And Eureka again, Nahida with the layup.
That's that pressure defense right there. Blackburn's getting tired. They only have 6 or 7 players to work with now, and one of them's hurt. So this is Eureka taking advantage of that, and that is a good sign to see out of your Eureka Red Devils.
That's right, as Blackburn forced to take a timeout there. 7:50 left here in the second period. Eureka on top, 32-9. We will keep things here, though.
And going forward, another thing that is going to be huge for Blackburn is how they use their timeouts, because they're going to have to use it to keep the players fresh, and they can't use it if they get into a pressure situation later down the road. They're going to have to use their timeouts frequently, and that's going to make them run out of timeouts and not be able to game plan like they normally would or do anything of that nature like that. So that's going to be a big key part going forward in this game as well.
Yeah, that's right. You just want to make sure that you keep in mind how important your timeouts can be, especially if you're Blackburn. I mean, but being down by this much, I was going to say Eureka, but you know, when you're up by this many points, there's not really a reason to have to call a timeout unless you kind of start to lose that really big lead. But both teams back on the floor, and very quickly the basketball goes out of bounds once again. It's going to stay with Blackburn.
But that tenacious defense by Eureka still being shown.
Yeah, and they have not given up defensively or offensively yet. Nahida. That one is going to go out of bounds again. So a lot of very quick play.
This time it's
and
a forced
stoppage.
turnover by Eureka, and now Eureka gets the ball back.
Yeah, that's
and this
right.
is where we need to capitalize and get the free points on these turnovers. We've been doing a great job of that. We just need to keep that job going.
That's exactly right. As Holtz with a 3, a huge arc, and that comes up short. A little too short, and fighting for the basketball is Blackburn. It's going to be Tuitkin to come up with it. A lot of defense. Mitchell, top of the key, directing traffic. First time I think I've seen Blackburn display some communication all game, and the basketball, as you notice, Schulte goes out of bounds.
I believe that was a foul on Redgate. She ran right to that screen.
Blackburn once again with the basketball. fighting for it. Frey through contact. Mitchell went up for the layup, and it goes.
That was good ball movement there by Blackburn, realizing that somebody was getting double teamed here in the corner. That means somebody's going to be open.
Yeah, and I thought Mitchell nearly traveled for a second as Najera puts that one up, no good. But the pump fake from Mitchell on that last layup for Blackburn gets her defender in the air long enough to still get the shot up and knock it down. 32-11, Red Devils on top with just under 7 minutes left in the second quarter. Kwiatkowski looked like a travel. Frey over to Tuitkin, top of the key. Here's a three from Kwiatkowski, good.
So one thing to say is when you're playing this aggressive a defense as Eureka is, they'll get caught in the passing lanes and leave somebody open. You just saw that there on the three-pointer.
Yeah, and I believe that's Blackburn's first three of the game as Redgate gets fouled on the attempted layup, which is no good, but she'll have 2 shots at the line. Eureka College Red Devils basketball is made possible by Wendy Puff Pizzeria and Pub in Eureka, locally owned by Bob and Mike Mayo. Wendy Puff offers a unique variety of pizzas, appetizers, salads, and desserts. Wendy Puff is open Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 and Fridays and Saturdays from 4 to 10. Wendy Puff Pizza and Pub at 112 South Main Street in downtown Eureka. They also offer online ordering at wendypuff.com. So for Eureka, Ness back out onto the floor. We also get to see Abscall again. Reich trying to prevent the inbound as Ness picks it off. Passing it to Reich over to Abscall, who puts it up and good.
You could almost call the foul there.
Yeah, there was a lot of contact, it looked like, as Mitchell going up for the layup. That one's stripped by Jackson. Mitchell coming up with it, but she'll knock it out of bounds on her own power. Back to Eureka.
That was a good play there from Ness, being in the right place at the right time, getting the block, blocking it off the Blackburn player, and it rolled out of bounds on them. Eureka ball.
Yeah, I mean, Eureka's defense just continues to shine, as you have said earlier. Abascal, crossover move, trying to find a lane to the basket. Ness in the paint, pretends to hand it to Abascal, and her mid-range two is good. 37-14 Red Devils.
Just a silky smooth jumper there from Josie Ness.
Yeah, it's just a very quick 360 and a release of the ball. She does it so smoothly and so effortlessly as Frey puts the layup up, and that is good, and the foul as Holtz helps her to her feet.
Bryn Holtz just a little too over-aggressive there on the layup because that ball was already out of Flynn's hand there as it was going up in the air.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seemed like a late whistle. By the time the ref blew the whistle, Frey was already on the floor, but she will have this opportunity here to extend Blackburn's point total as she knocks it down there. More substitutions, it looks like, as more for Eureka coming onto the floor. Holtz getting a break after that foul. And Rutherford back on the floor as well. She'll take it up the floor, top of the key, hand it off to Abascal. Eureka trying to work something out here. Have to be smart. We know Eureka has a lot of basketball IQ as Moore puts up the layup, and that is good. 39-17.
When you get in that paint area on the drive, you got to make sure you finish off those opportunities. Those opportunities don't come very often to get free layups in the paint like that.
Yeah, that's right. And like you said, Eureka's just been taking advantage all game. Here's a corner three from Gent. That is no good. Blackburn does get the offensive board, and Moore tips it. It's going to go with Eureka. Riesch over to Moore. Nice, easy open lane to the layup. No good. She gets the offensive board. Top of the key three. No good. And a whistle is blown.
That was a very good job by Moore, sticking with her and getting your own offensive rebound and creating another opportunity for Eureka right there.
That's right. I mean, you would have liked to see her, execute and, of course, knock that nice, easy layup down, but it doesn't always happen, especially when you know defenders are right behind you. So we see Zarello back on the floor as well. Ness heavily guarding Tuitkin. Frey, top of the key. Abascal on her. Rutherford guarding her defender, and it's going to be Harris to put it up. The layup is no good, but she will be sent to the line for two.
Unfortunately, Ness had her hands down like that, got her on the arm, but great help defense otherwise there. That's what you need to see in that man-to-man defense that Eureka is running right now, is help defense. Don't be too worried about the girl you're guarding on the other side of the court. Help off and get in the middle of the lane so that way it does not have Blackburn can't get those easy layups.
Yeah, that's right. And we saw Eureka with that help defense earlier, too. It seemed like they were, wherever the ball went, they followed. And it was so smooth. Obviously, for those of you tuning in, you can't see what we are seeing, but if you could have, it was just the smoothest basketball I think I've ever seen. As Blackburn now at 19 points. Abascal, basketball, top of the key. She'll shoot the deep mid-range, no good. And it's going to be Blackburn to come up with it. Frey trying to get something to go. Zarello heavily guarding her. Abascal on Harris, and that one is going to be, I believe, is that a foul?
That was a baseline foul block.
Not sure who that was on, but it will stay with Blackburn as Tuitkin will inbound the basketball. Abascal coming out.
That foul was on Abascal as she was guarding her going baseline and just got there late and got called for the block.
Yeah, so Webb comes in for her. Gent trying to get something going. Frey, and it's going to be Tuitkin trying to get the shot up, but it goes out of bounds. Once again, it'll stay with the Beavers. So we see Eureka the Red Devils have been doing this quite often, just making the clock stop a lot on fouls that really don't need to be made as they're fighting over the basketball. Blackburn staying with it. Frey, ankle breaker, and no good.
That got a good reaction out of the crowd.
It did. Here's a three from Moore. That is way too strong. Zarello keeps it in. But, like you said, big reaction from the crowd there. But, when you're Blackburn down by this much, there's not really much to get excited about anyways. So when you do see something like that, you kind of have to yell.
The crowd trying to get the Blackburn Beavers back in the game with some momentum, down by 20.
Yeah, huge
deficit. It is still early, so the crowd's trying to get them back energized. But with only having 7 players, it's hard to do.
Yeah, that's right. Mitchell over to Tuitkin, trying to run to the rim. Frey with a three, and that is good. So Blackburn finding some momentum of their own with 3.5 left to go in this second quarter. Zarello hands it over to Jackson. Runs to the rim, and the whistle's going to be blown. Looks like it's going to stay with Eureka, I believe. So Naheda, and it looks like Redgate coming in. Ness and Jackson, I believe, Ness and Zarello will come out.
And you like what you saw from Redgate the last time she was in the game. You hope that she can keep that same energy up for the Red Devils.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
As there she is down low in the paint there with a bucket.
Yeah, and I believe she has now 7 points to her account. So coming off the bench, we talked about that in the pregame. That's just so beneficial for Eureka as Frey fighting through contact. And I guess they're going to call a foul, so she'll have a shot here. But to me, it did not look like Jackson really fouled. She was just kind of standing her ground, but the refs have a better look at it than we do. So Frey at the line.
That was Maya Webb's first foul and Eureka's 5th team foul.
Yeah, that's exactly right. As she missed the first one there. Obviously, if you're Blackburn, you need these free throws. They can be so important. They do add up at the end of the game. Frey able to knock down that second one, so she'll go 1 for 2 on that drive. Webb moves it up the floor. Top of the key. Frey on her. Jackson back to Webb. Finding some space. Breaks through some defenders. Puts it up, and it's good.
That's a good way to drive around your opponent there and finish with the underhand layup right there.
That's
really
right.
Good finish.
Well, once again, Blackburn, another timeout. We will take a break as well. Eureka on top, 43-23 here in the second quarter. Stay tuned. You're listening to Eureka Red Devils basketball here on EC 103.1.
Eureka College Red Devils basketball is made possible by Cornerstone Family Restaurant of Eureka. Locally and family owned for nearly 25 years by Michael and Donna Sweeney, Cornerstone Family Restaurant serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. They are open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sundays, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Dine in, carry out, or order online, Cornerstone Family Restaurant is located on Center Street on the west edge of Eureka. Get more information or order online at cornerstone-family-restaurant.com.
Welcome back here as the Red Devils visiting Blackburn, as Jackson very quickly out of the break comes up with a layup, but Eureka on top 45-23 in this first SLIAC matchup of the season for Eureka. Gent, a lot of ball movement from Blackburn very quickly. Tuitkin, pump fake there from Mitchell. Bray, top of the key, and that three is going to be short.
During that timeout, Blackburn had to talk about ball movement there because that's the best way to beat a press, and that you've seen it there. They got down the court very efficiently there.
Yeah, and I can imagine that for them, obviously, Coach Doherty telling them just maybe move with more pace and more efficiency. And as you can tell, they were obviously going a lot faster there on that drive. A lot of more ball movement, as you mentioned, but still unable to find an answer. Eureka with the basketball. Webb, once again, fighting through contact. Passes over to Moore. Jackson, top of the key. At the rim, and the layup goes in and out, and it goes off of the hands of Redgate. It'll go over to the Beavers.
Yeah, but they need to keep that pace that Blackburn does and move the ball around if they want to have a chance to get back in the game. But it's so hard with their limited rosters. Redgate with the steal there on the cross-court pass by Blackburn.
Yeah, Blackburn needs to watch out for that as Moore puts it up. She'll get fouled. Basket is no good. But she will have a chance here.
Eureka just doing a great job at jumping in the passing lanes and stealing the ball every chance that they can get. It feels like Blackburn don't have the ball for more than 5 seconds each time they have possession, and Eureka find a way to take it back.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, I mean, this is obviously a really big improvement from Eureka coming off their last game. They've just been playing so well recently. As Moore comes out, Reish back in. She gets the basketball, passes it. Nahera fighting in the paint, spins, puts it up, no good. It's going to be rebounded by Blackburn. And Tuitkin coming up with it. Baseball pass over to Kwiatkowski, heavily guarded by Reish. Tuitkin. Here's a three for Kwiatkowski, off the rim, no good. And the rebound's going to go to Webb. So she'll take it up the floor. Jackson now. And that one gets away. Reish, top of the key, Nahera. Trying to fight through contact, puts it up, and good! And the foul.
4 Blackburn defenders down there. Did not care, took it to the hole and took care of business there for the and one.
That's exactly right, as Blackburn now with 5 team fouls. So Nahera trying to convert this extra point here. Eureka currently shooting 50% from the line, and she misses that one. It's going to be rebounded by Blackburn, but that Eureka defense just continues to put pressure all over these Beavers.
And if it's not turnovers, they're getting deflections and tipping the ball out of bounds. And that disrupts them trying to get the ball up the court. And it makes them have to reset and have to make a pass back inbounds where Eureka has been jumping them all game.
Another baseball pass picked by Rutherford. She'll pass it to the corner. Jackson thought about the three. Redgate deep mid-range, and that is good.
On fire. Redgate's on fire this half.
Yeah, we don't see Redgate a ton really come in the game, but when she does, she really makes herself known out there.
Making the most of the opportunity that's been given to her.
Exactly right.
Another steal from Webb.
Redgate once again trying to take it herself, puts it up, good. And Schulte, like you've spoken into existence once again, Redgate just continues to be hot on the court.
Making the most of the opportunity that's been given to her.
Kwiatkowski over to Tuitkin. And she's going to fall down.
I couldn't tell if that was on Rutherford or if that was on Holtz.
I think that was on Holtz. We know that she can be very aggressive defensively. She knows.
That is on Brent Holtz. That is her 3rd personal foul in the first half. She's going to have to be careful going forward. And now that makes Blackburn in the bonus.
Yeah, and you got to be, like you said, you have to be careful. If you're Holtz, obviously somebody who's such a huge account and part of this team. Remember, she's actually 93rd on the program's all-time scoring list, so you obviously want her on the floor. But, I mean, at the same time, you are up by a lot. Great rebound there by Holtz. behind the back, able to get Frey to just keep running up the floor. Holtz going for the deep mid-range, and that is short. Little bit of a reaction out of the crowd here.
You'd like to see a little bit. You'd like to see a little bit more ball movement there by the Red Devils. You know, getting late in the quarter. You know, there was no shot clock. Take the last shot of the quarter and get out of town there in that situation. But
so clock running down, about 15 seconds here in this first half. Tuikin puts it up off the backboard, no good. Rebounded there by Wilson, no good. And fighting for the ball, Holtz comes up with it. 5 seconds left on the clock. She passes it. Abascal with the three. No good. Put it back up, but the clock runs out. And that is how the first half will end.
What a half from the Eureka Red Devils. That defense just tenacious and taking advantage of all those turnovers by Blackburn. Getting that 20-plus point lead going into half, 51-24.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly the kind of thing you want to see, especially if you're Coach Hedrick over there. And coming off the bench, Alina Redgate leads the team in points in this game, 11 points to her account. Very great choices to come off the bench from Hedrick there, and obviously great execution and basketball in general from Alina Redgate. But as you mentioned, that is the end of the half. Eureka on top, 51-24. We are going to cut to halftime. Stay tuned, though. You are listening to Eureka Red Devils basketball here on EC 103.1 from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth.
The Pegasus has been Eureka College's news source since 1889. Reports from the Pegasus can now be heard on EC 103.1. I'm Emily Virgil, Pegasus Editor-in-Chief. Catch your 2-minute Pegasus news update weekdays at 8:20, 12:20, and 5:20 right here. We'll discuss events happening all over campus and let you know what the Pegasus staff has planned for its next issue. It's the 2-minute Pegasus news update weekdays at 8:20, 12:20, and 5:20 on EC 103.1.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news on air, online, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Welcome to the Eureka Red Devils halftime basketball show. I'm Drew Deneau here with head softball coach Jewel Hodges. Jewel, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
So I want to first start by asking, how did you get into softball and what was your journey like becoming the head coach here at Eureka College?
Absolutely. I've played softball my entire life. Out of high school, I played at a junior college in Central Illinois. Once I was done playing there, I transferred to the University of Tennessee, where I finished my undergraduate degree. I spent some time working within the softball program there. And then from there, I went on to continue studying and went to Ohio University to do a master's in coaching education. I spent 2 years on staff at Ohio University as a volunteer assistant. And, once I graduated, I came home, and it was right around COVID, and the job opened up here, and it all got just kind of aligned for me.
So what about Eureka kind of made you narrow down that you want to come here, and what did you like about this school?
Yeah, the first and foremost is the Eureka community it's kind of unmatched. You can walk into the Commons, or you can walk into any building, and someone's excited to see you and is going to greet you with a smile. That was the biggest thing for me, is finding a place where the community sense was strong. Additionally, the softball program, has been very successful. It's a great program that, the previous coaches have built. Stepping in, it was something that I felt like I could continue to build.
So, into the culture standpoint of, sports or even softball, how important is it to build a strong culture here within, softball?
Absolutely. Very important, our program is based strictly around family, building the culture, the positive culture for us, and bringing in athletes that are going to buy into that is extremely important. We often talk about, building relationships and building kind of that environment off the field, makes things on the field a lot easier. So, like I said, our program definitely stems around, family and, a sisterhood for us.
So I know that in 2023 you were very heavy on the recruiting process, bringing in about 23 players. How important is the recruiting process this year going into the 24-25 season?
Yeah, this year we had a smaller class. However, we brought in very crucial transfers. We have a big transfer class, my colleague Chip Wilde says, you win with transfers, you win with juniors and seniors, and so kind of took that and ran with it a little bit this season. So we're heavy on the upperclassmen side, so it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be great.
And building on the upperclassmen side, how important is it for your juniors and seniors to be guiders and mentors for the freshmen and sophomore that are just coming in or transferring from other colleges? Absolutely.
It's huge. They kind of set they kind of pave the way for the younger athletes. We have a fifth-year senior, Bria Wessel, third-year captain. She's going to do great things for us leadership-wise, but we also have a couple other seniors, Mackenzie Daniels, that's been an all-conference player a couple years in a row, that's going to lead us, on the field a little bit. So the leadership roles are very important. They set the standard for us, and we talk about it a lot.
And off the field, how important is it to kind of build a relationship with your players off the field, knowing that you'll always be there for them and you'll always have their back off the field?
Yeah, one thing that I like to say as a coach is I'm a player's coach, and that could be on the field, but I really like to emphasize it off the field. So I spend a lot of time building relationships with my players in terms of the open door policy. A lot of them will just come in and sit in my office and just talk, which is great, but I always tell them when they are here, they're my obligation and my priority. And they do a really great job of making it known that, Coach, we understand you're a human as well. It goes two ways. So, we spend a lot of time together, team dinners, or just, bi-weekly check-ins, stuff like that. Those are all really great things that we kind of do to build those relationships.
And how important is it, or ultimately, what is the goal this year for the 24-25 softball, Red Devil softball team?
Yeah, I think, we continue to build on what we have in the past. Like I said, we have upperclassmen that are going to be big for us, and continuing to build a program and have another season that's going to, pave the way for the future is what we're looking to do.
And I know that, you have all kinds of different classes, freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors, but is any spot open? Is there a spot open for anybody? Ultimately, if there's a returner last year and there's a freshman that proves himself, is any spot open for anybody? Is there, is there a competitive drive for each spot on the field?
Yes, absolutely. I tell every one of my recruits and every one of my returning athletes that, you have to earn and maintain your spot, whether you were an all-conference player last year or not. You have to, show up every day and earn that spot and maintain it. So all 9 spots are up for grabs at this point, and come January, we'll see who fights for it.
And before we end this, is there anything you'd like to say to any, recruits or women that are playing softball that are looking for any colleges to go to?
Yeah, I would say Eureka is, it's a gem. And take the chance on us when we take the chance on you, and keep playing, work hard, and put your head down. So.
Well, Jewel, thank you for your time. You're watching the Eureka College Red Devils basketball halftime show here on ECTV.
Eureka College Red Devils basketball is made possible by City Blue Technologies of Peoria, an Epson distributor serving Central Illinois. Did you know that North America consumes around 100 million pounds of toner powder annually? This is the equivalent of more than 2.5 billion plastic bottles, 9.5 billion plastic bags, or 116 billion plastic straws. Epson now has precision core heat-free printing as an alternative to laser printers. Learn about sustainable printing solutions from City Blue Technologies at citybluetechnologies.com.
Eureka College Red Devils basketball is made possible by Wendy Puff Pizzeria and Pub in Eureka. Locally owned by Mike and Bob Mayo, Wendy Puff Pizzeria offers a unique variety of pizzas, appetizers, salads, and desserts. Wendy Puff is open Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 and Fridays and Saturdays from 4 to 10. Wendy Puff Pizzeria and Pub at 112 South Main Street in downtown Eureka. They also offer online ordering at wendypuff.com.
Eureka College Red Devils basketball is made possible by City Blue Technologies of Peoria, an Epson distributor serving Central Illinois. Did you know that North America consumes around 100 million pounds of toner powder annually? This is the equivalent of more than 2.5 billion plastic bottles, 9.5 billion plastic bags, or 116 billion plastic straws. Epson now has precision core heat-free printing as an alternative to laser printers. Learn about sustainable printing solutions from City Blue Technologies at citybluetechnologies.com.
An earlier version of the European Union was imagined by secret societies centuries ago. I'm Dr. Lynn Pascarella, President of the American Association of Colleges and Universities. And today on the Academic Minute, Fernanda Gallo, Associate Professor in History and Politics at the University of Cambridge, delves into this history.
My research is concerned with ideas about political power. I am an historian of the long 19th century, a period often described as the climax of the rise of the nation-state. By focusing on the case of Italy, my work challenges this view, discussing how nationalism in the early 19th century actually emerges transnationally. Recently, I looked at how the idea of the United States of Europe came about in a circle of radical 19th century Italian political activists who were the first to think seriously about a political project of a United States of Europe. Interestingly, during that time, Italy as a nation-state did not yet exist. Rather, the Italian peninsula was a cluster of smaller and isolated and often dominated states. Italian radicals still imagined a united and independent Italy, and when they did, they conceived of it within a wider project of a European federation. They saw a harmony between national unification and international emancipation. A Europe of the peoples meant a continent of citizens instead of subjects, of rights instead of treaties, of assemblies instead of absolute monarchies, of political participation instead of economic regulation. These 19th century Italian Republicans all had in common the experience of exile, persecuted because of their political beliefs. These experiences connected them with an international society of activists across Europe. Together, they created secret societies, promoted clandestine operations, and circulated subversive ideas, and they imagined the United States of Europe's border extending east to include Ukraine and Turkey. They envisioned a larger and more democratic Europe than the one we have come to know through the EU.
That was Fernanda Gallo of the University of Cambridge. You can find this, other segments, and more information about the professors at academicminute.org.
Production support for the Academic Minute comes from AAC&U, advancing liberal learning and research for the public good.
Eureka College Red Devils basketball is made possible by Cornerstone Family Restaurant of Eureka. Locally and family-owned for nearly 25 years by Michael and Donna Sweeney, Cornerstone Family Restaurant serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. They are open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sundays, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Dine in, carry out, or order online. Cornerstone Family Restaurant is located on Center Street on the west edge of Eureka. Get more information or order online at cornerstone-family-restaurant.com.
We all play a role in keeping our community safe.
Every day, we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life.
It's when something doesn't seem quite right
that it's time to pay attention. Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news on air, online, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Welcome back here to this SLIAC matchup between the Eureka Red Devils and the Blackburn Beavers. First SLIAC matchup of the year, and in that first half, well, safe to say Eureka led the entire way. I mean, they're shooting already 56.1% from the field and over 30% behind the arc, and that's obviously going to win you games. And right before the half ended, we talked about Alina Redgate. She leads the team in points. She has 11 to her account. And, I mean, coming off the bench, we just know how important those are. And she has proven to everybody in here that she deserves a spot on that floor.
Oh, yeah, and going forward in the rest of this game with the score being what it is, and if it continues that way, you're going to see Eureka put in more girls that might not have the chance to play, might be freshmen. This is their chance to, it might be a blowout, but don't take it for granted and really prove why you deserve to be on that court, because coaches are watching. Don't matter what sport you're playing, if you're playing in a blowout, take advantage of those opportunities that are given, because you don't know when that opportunity is going to come again. So jump on that opportunity if it gets later in the fourth quarter and it's still a blowout game. And don't let that opportunity go to waste. Jump on it if you're a freshman or a girl that might not play very often.
Yeah, and that's exactly right, because coaches will look at that and they'll say, you know, especially we know that our baseball coach, Suarez, he obviously doesn't care how long you've been playing. He cares about what you can do for the team right now, and I'm sure that's what Coach Hedrick also thinks and has in his mind. But both teams back at it. Eureka on top, 51-24 here in the start of quarter number 3. And just like that, ball goes out of bounds. That's something we saw a lot of in the first half.
That's that defense coming back into play. Might not get turnovers, but you're deflecting the ball, making it go out of bounds, like Britton just deflected that ball out of bounds, and making Blackburn have to reset and have to make a tough baseline pass in.
Yeah, Eureka has not given up defensively all game. Once again, we see the defense there. Frey thought about the 3. Nahera on her. Gent, top of the key. Frey over to Wilson in the paint, puts it up, and knocks it down, and the foul.
No, she got called for an offensive foul. Wilson, okay. Offensive foul.
Yeah. Well, definitely there was a lot of contact down on that side of the floor, but like you said, no bucket, no extra point. It is Eureka basketball as Webb comes up. Top of the key, Nahera in the paint. Fires it over to Jackson. Holtz trying to get around her defender. Wilson on her. Jackson to Webb. Nahera in the paint. Puts it up. Good. 53-24, Eureka.
That was that good patience, being patient. Not forcing a shot when you didn't have to, but being patient and letting the shot come to you.
Yeah, that's right. She took her time, obviously looking for that good shot selection. We talk about that all the time as Webb and Frey fighting for the basketball. And I believe
forcing a jump ball there. Eureka ball now.
Yeah, I was going to say, there it is again. Red Devils defense just continuing to stay hot. Nahera inbounds it to Webb. So, I mean, Eureka's been on top all game. They haven't really had to worry about, you know, Blackburn threatening too much. Holtz puts it up there short on the layup. So it is going back with Blackburn, but these are the kinds of games you want to see. You don't want to have to worry about giving up the lead at all, and that's exactly what Eureka has came in here to do. Layup there from Gent, missed.
Really good paint defense there by Holtz.
Yeah, we talked about protecting the paint. Jackson with a 3. Too strong. This one nearly going out of bounds. Saved there by Tuitkin. She's going to hand it over to Wilson. Back to Tuitkin. So just over 8 minutes left here in this third quarter. Wow, Blackburn just struggling to even get the ball to the rim at all. Great hands-up defense from Eureka. Tuitkin thought about the three. Webb on her. Deflected by Jackson and picked off there by Rich.
Right place, right spot.
Directing traffic. Holtz put it up, but basket will not count. She does get a shot at the line, though, for two.
The one thing that Eureka could use as an opportunity here is to improve your free throw shooting going forward in the rest of this game. You're killing it in all aspects of the game, other than you want to get that free throw percentage up a little bit there.
Yeah, and that's
exactly. I thought she
was
going up for the shot there and taking it out baseline.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I thought that, too, as the mid-range from Najera, no good. It's going to be Blackburn basketball, but, yeah, I mean, Holt's just so good. 19 points, 7 rebounds last game against Elmhurst. Frey in the paint again, puts it up, no good, rebounded by Najera. Holtz is going to be the one to take it up the floor. Fighting through contact, puts it up and good. So just like that, Bryn Holtz now at 5 points tonight.
Taking care of business herself.
Yeah, and you heard somebody on Eureka shouting her name, like, pass me the ball, I'm open. But Holtz, obviously that kind of player to just know exactly what she's doing. Baseball pass to Reach. Bounce pass over to Webb. She'll go for the mid-range. Good.
And you see the reaction there from Bryn Holtz, getting the team fired up. You don't want to lose that energy, that momentum that you had in the first half. Keep it going in the second half.
Yeah, and that's something a lot of teams can't do, is just keep that same level of energy all game long. And Eureka's been able to do just that. So great job by them. Najera, baseball pass picked off by Frey. You know, you are up by a lot, but you still don't want to give away those free turnovers and extra opportunities.
Absolutely not.
Jackson heavily guarding Frey. Now with the switch, Risch. Frey puts it up and is blocked by Reach.
What a block.
Another over-the-head pass caught by Webb. Going to the rim, puts it up. No foul call. Shot's not good. Thought about the three. Deep mid-range from Risch. Good.
You see Coach Hendrick pushing his team back not to be as aggressive with this big of a lead.
Yeah, you know, sometimes in sports there are kind of those unwritten rules, like you're up by so much already. There's really no point. But Najera on the steal doesn't care.
Little hezzy move.
Fast break, Risch, nice, easy layup. It is now 61-24, and Blackburn with a timeout.
That was Coach Hendrick with the timeout there. I think he's trying to. I think the Eureka coach is trying to tell us that we are up by a lot. Just take your time. No need to pressure up like we have been all game. Take the foot off the gas and just slow it down. Slow it down. No reason to have that foot on the gas and risk injury at this point of the game.
Yeah, because other teams can get a little bit mad about that. But while they're on a break, we will also take one as well. Stay tuned. You're listening to Eureka Red Devils Volleyball on EC 103.1.
Eureka College Red Devils Basketball is made possible by Cornerstone Family Restaurant of Eureka. Locally and family owned for nearly 25 years by Michael and Donna Sweeney, Cornerstone Family Restaurant serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. They are open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sundays, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Dine in, carry out, or order online. Cornerstone Family Restaurant is located on Center Street on the west edge of Eureka. Get more information or order online at cornerstone-family-restaurant.com.
Welcome back to EC 103.1. Matthew Swan, my broadcast partner, Andrew Schulte from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth, to Eureka Red Devils women's basketball. So, I mean, Eureka leading by a huge amount. Score 61-24. It's been this way all game long. Blackburn just not finding an answer. Obviously, turnovers have played a big role in it. The Beavers already have 32 turnovers, and we're pretty much still in the very first kind of start of this third quarter. Just under 6 minutes left to play. It'll be Mitchell inbounding it. Over to Harris, back to Mitchell. Now it's going to be Kwiatkowski. Mitchell again, top of the key, guarded by Abascal. There's that Eureka defense that just has not given up. Mitchell trying to take it herself. It looks like it was stripped by Ness, but she'll get called for the foul. And Mitchell is going to have an opportunity here at the line for two.
And Eureka, on that inbound play, they were in a man-to-man pressure defense the entire game. But it looks like Coach switched it up here and is having them run a 3 3-2 zone press defense, or a 1-2-2, something of that nature, a trap defense. Maybe just trying to work on some different things that they've been working on at practice. In a blowout game, that's what you want to do. You want to work on things that you've been working on in practice and try and execute it now in the middle of a game.
Yeah, and you got to think that's something Coach Hedrick might have talked about in that last timeout, as Mitchell only goes 1 for 2 at the line there. Rutherford at top. Crossover move. Hands it off. Abascal. Top of the key, Ness. Pushing through contact. Moore. Bounce pass under the net. That one's going to be picked by Mitchell. And she'll take it up the floor, passing it over to Kwiatkowski, who, remember, was injured early in the game, but she appears to be doing just fine now. It was that right leg. And you're glad to see that she's doing okay. Picked off by Moore there. She's going to try to take it herself. Puts it up. No good. Abascal with the offensive board. No good once again. Gets her own rebound. Up again. Another miss, and the whistle's finally going to be blown. Looks like this one's going over to Blackburn.
Renegade caught with the foul there. Bad. Wrong spot, wrong place. Wrong time, wrong place. Just came into that rebound a little too late. Blackburn already had control of it.
Yeah, and Coach Hedrick he seemed kind of happy about it, just seeing the kind of movement that Eureka's kind of been presenting all game long. And one thing we haven't really touched on yet in this game is the footwork of the Red Devils. It's just been amazing. Obviously, there's been a lot of shots going up from that 360 move. And obviously, the Red Devils have been converting as Mitchell puts the layup in the air. Shot's no good, but there is a foul.
2 back-to-back fouls on Renegade right there. Not what you want to see right out the gate.
Yeah, we know Redgate has obviously, we talked about, played a huge role in this game already with 11 points, but now she's already at 3 fouls, and now you got to watch out because she's 2 away from being fouled out of this game.
And you have to be really careful because Eureka just transferred over to a 3-2 zone trap defense at half court, and that causes a lot of open looks in the paint with Blackburn. We'll have a lot of open looks in the paint. So if they get the ball down there like we just saw there, it'll cause a lot of foul trouble for the Eureka Red Devils going forward.
That's right. Eureka with the basketball once again. Red Devils on top, 61-26. Shot from Redgate, no good. Put up by Ness. That one is going to fall.
Great offensive rebound there by Ness and putting it back up for 2.
63-26, Red Devils on top. Matthew Swan, my broadcast partner, Andrew Schulte from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Now we're back to that hot Red Devils defense. Moore running up to the rim, puts it up, it'll go.
That's a really good way to finish that off that turnover. Throw it up to Moore, who is wide open going forward.
Yeah, Lainey Moore now at 2 points. So that was her first bucket, 4 points. Adding on to her point total. Tuitkin puts up the mid-range off the rim, no good. Holtz taking it. Rutherford up the floor. Going at the rim, puts it up, no good. Nearly a rebound by Ness. Instead, it's Abascal spinning around. That one's going to be blocked, and she draws the foul.
A lot of contact right there.
Yeah, Rob, we could hear that from over here.
One thing I will say on that fast break that we just had for Eureka, Moore has been everywhere. Whenever she comes into the game, she brings that energy, that per se dirty work that nobody ever wants to do on a basketball court. She does it, and that brings a lot of energy. And it might not show up in the score column, and the stat books in the box score. But every basketball team needs a player like that, and Moore is that person for us.
Yeah, and Moore did average just under 2 rebounds per game last season. And just think, if you can have a player that is averaging around 2 rebounds per game, think if every player on your roster could do that, that's going to go a long way. And Eureka just seems to have it all figured out here tonight. A 3 from Blackburn, no good. They will get the offensive board. Mitchell, bounce pass under the net. Layup is up, no good. Eureka gets it back. And that one, I think, hit off the back of Ness. Abascal comes up with it. She's going to the rim. Quick pass to Ness, pump fake, and it's good.
That's a good way to use your body. That all 6'1" of your frame right there, and get yourself to the paint and finish the layup.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That 1-pound dribble right to the rim.
So Blackburn once again trying to have an answer. Another turnover. Abascal thought about chasing after it. She's just going to let that one go out of bounds. Either way, it is Red Devils basketball once again.
And right here is where Coach Hendrick could use his deep bench right here. People that might not see the court very often, the freshmen, the girls that might give them opportunities to play, as Eureka is up by 43 points.
Yeah, that's right. And something to keep in mind is that Eureka, their number for most points this season is 71. They're already at 69, and it's only the third quarter. So they have an opportunity here as Abascal up to the rim, passes it outside. Rutherford puts it up. No good, but she will be sent to the line.
And this is where you want to improve your free throw numbers. That percentage can go up right here in these stages of the game. This is where you can work on those little things like that.
Yeah, that's right. Eureka already just having a lot of opportunities at the line, currently shooting 60%. And that one, no good. There's that broadcaster's jinx that we always talk so much about. I will say, though, it is a little weird kind of just seeing everything from the corner. Because, at the other end of the court, you can't really get a good look at what goes down. Especially in that corner, you can't really see. But
yeah, when things happen so fast.
But, yeah, I was overhearing a conversation earlier as Dorello picks it off. And, unfortunately, it was a good idea. But everybody saw that footstep out of bounds.
Caught Blackburn sleeping there. You got to be careful when you throw the ball in. You can't be lackadaisical with it. You got to whip it in, or else things like that will happen.
Yeah.
And thankfully, fortunately for Blackburn, they got the ball right back.
Yeah, it's just like in baseball. If you're on base and the catcher's just lobbing the baseball back to the pitcher, something you got to watch out for because those runners will take off. So it's going to be Wilson, Mitchell, top of the key, running to the rim. She puts it up. It spins in and out, and Ness comes up with it. So Eureka, a chance here to put more points on the board, and Redgate missed it. It looks like
come up limping, too.
She hurt herself. She is in pain. A little slow to get back to defense. A three from Blackburn is good. Amia Harris.
And they call the time, and the refs have a ref timeout for Redgate as she is in pain. I wonder if she just hyperextended whenever she came down from that layup attempt.
Yeah, she's going to have to come out here. Obviously not a good sign for Eureka, but
looks like maybe her lower back. Not good, though. Not good for Eureka.
Play does continue. Red Devils still on top, 70-29. Abascal in the corner. Rutherford. There's a screen for Moore we've been looking for all game. She spins, puts it up. No good. Rebounded by Moore. She comes up with it, like you said, all over the floor.
The Energizer bunny that every team needs.
Yeah, and that's just so crucial. You want players like that. Players on your team like that will motivate your other teammates. Here's another three from Blackburn. That one, though, misses by a wide margin. So Eureka only 1 point away from tying their season-high point total.
With a minute left in the third. We still have a whole fourth period left to play, Matt.
That's right. I mean, they're definitely going to get it. They're definitely going to beat that record this season. But for now, just got to find a way. As Rutherford rushing to the rim, puts it up. That one's deflected, and she'll get called for a foul. So she'll have a shot here for some free throws.
Last time she was at the line, went 1 for 2. You want to see her improve here and go 2 for 2. Work on, like I've been saying, work on the little things. The little things, you might be up by a lot, but work on the little things. This is the perfect time to execute your craft. Practice makes perfect. And what better time to do it in an actual game?
That's exactly right. Rutherford only goes 1 for 2 on that drive, now at 2 points to her account, but Red Devils remain on top 71-29. 44 seconds left here in this third quarter. Another three from Harris, and that is short. So Blackburn
it looked like Absco got a piece of that whenever she was running that to close out in the corner there. Because I'm pretty sure it's going to stay Blackburn ball here. I'm pretty sure that was a blocked shot. Great defensive awareness.
Yeah, that is going to be Blackburn basketball as Harris inbounds it, but Blackburn's three-point shooting has not really been there all game, only 3 for 13. So maybe you want to have players like Wilson fight in the paint as she did, and it looks like Zarello took a hard fall there trying to go for the steal and comes up a little bit shaken maybe, rubbing that left shoulder.
What I did like to see right there was Wilson had the ball in the paint and was worried about her dribble and what she was going to do next, and the Eureka player just came up right behind her and try to steal the ball. Like, that's some great defensive awareness right there.
Yeah, that's right. As Mitchell trying to find room, she's going to just throw it up in the air as Rutherford is called for the foul despite her hands being up.
I didn't see much contact there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's, it could be, obviously, I don't want to be, that guy, but maybe the refs are just like, obviously Blackburn's down by a lot, so even the slightest bit of contact, we're just going to call it, let them have that opportunity as she knocks down the first one there.
Very well. And there also could have been, we're very far away. Could have been some things that we couldn't see from there.
And she goes 2 for 2 at the line. So Mitchell, 5 points to her account. Abascal went for the open layup, no good. And once again, Zarella with a hard fall, taking a lot of contact on the floor.
As that will send Eureka to the bonus. I believe that is Blackburn's 6th team foul.
So Zarello having an opportunity here at the line. Already 5 points tonight. Trying to extend that. This is the first one. Well, with 18 seconds here in this third quarter, Red Devils on top 71-31.
She went 1 for 2 from the line there.
Matthew Swan, Andrew Schulte here on EC 103.1 from the City Blue Technology broadcast. You can see Zarello right after.
The Pegasus has been Eureka College's news source since 1889. Reports from the Pegasus can now be heard on EC 1031. I'm Emily Virgil, Pegasus Editor-in-Chief. Catch your 2-minute Pegasus news update weekdays at 8:20, 12:20, and 5:20 right here. We'll discuss events happening all over campus and let you know what the Pegasus staff has planned for its next issue. It's the 2-minute Pegasus news update weekdays at 8:20, 12:20, and 5:20 on EC 1031.
Well, because listen, there.
I'll go on in like 30 seconds. I'll go on in like 15 seconds. Welcome back here to the first SLIAC matchup for the Red Devils this season between the Blackburn Beavers. And I mean, we've said it before, I'm just going to keep saying it. Eureka on top all game. Their story, it's been a story of just offense and defense. They just have not quit playing defensively, especially, I mean, it's one thing to gain your season high point total at 72, but only limiting Blackburn to 34 points is something completely different.
What I'll say is, what I love to see is Eureka got off of that hot start, 13-0 run to start the game, and they just never took their foot off the gas from there. They just kept building and building. They didn't stall out. They never let Blackburn get any momentum going, and that is what you'd like to see going into conference play.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We talked about utilizing your bench players. Eureka already with 37 bench points, and that completely demolishes their point total off of the bench from last game. They only had 9 against Elmhurst.
That's that depth scoring that we talked about in the pregame. We needed that going forward, and Eureka delivered.
Yeah, it's going to be those players like Redgate and Zarello who always come up off the bench. And, a lot of people, a lot of casual basketball fans like to think that, they don't start. And they think that means, they're not good, but that's not what that means at all. They have a purpose on the floor. And Redgate and Zarello and many others on this Red Devils roster showing that here tonight. So Blackburn currently with it. Kwiatkowski once again top of the key. Guarded at the half-point line. It's going to be Mitchell in the paint outside. Gent back to Wilson. Cutting in the paint, puts it up, no good from Frey. Eureka comes up with it. It's going to be Rutherford. Trying to go for a crossover move at the rim, puts it up, no good. Rebounded by Wilson. Ness picks it, puts it up, no good, and Frey going to take her time here.
And in the fourth period of this game, Blackburn only has 7 players. They have to be gassed.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't really imagine Blackburn's trying to do too much here as they turn the ball over there. But, yeah, back to what I was saying, you can't imagine they're going to try to do too much. Obviously, down by such a large margin. And, I mean, you don't want to really ball out. You don't want to risk any more players getting injured. Like we said earlier, Kwiatkowski came up limping a little bit earlier with that right leg. Moore rushing to the rim, outside. Here's a shot up. That's an air ball, unfortunately, from Eureka. Not something you want to see. And it is going to be Blackburn basketball. So Frey is going to come up with it. Taking her time here, just maybe trying to run out some clock. Frey puts it up, no good. She's going to get her own rebound after coming in from out of bounds. Here's a shot, no good. The three misses, and once again, Ness putting it up. It's going to be Rutherford, top of the key, puts it up, bang! I'm not sure if that was a three, but it was either a three or a deep mid-range two, and yeah, it looks like that's going to be a two. Eureka now leading 74-34. Large margin there. Going up for the layup. Kwiatkowski, no good. Ness once again passing over to Moore, who nearly lost it. Got to calm things down here. Moore violently dribbling the basketball and put in
pass
by Rich.
Split two defenders. More on that assist right there to Ridge. Great pass.
Yeah, and those are the passes you want to see. You see Rich going through that backdoor cut. A lot of great footwork from Eureka all around, and still able to put that up and extend their lead. Here's a pass across the floor. Rutherford able to strip that one away.
Just jumping in the passing lanes. That's what you like to see from your Red Devils.
Yeah, that one's going to go out of bounds on Wilson. It'll stick with Eureka. And I got to be honest with you, I like the fact that Eureka's being aggressive. But, at the same time, you got to think Blackburn's probably wondering, you're already up so much.
We're going to take the foot off the gas.
Yeah, just stop already. We saw that a lot with our football team. The team, our opponents typically did not really ever quit. And obviously we didn't have the football season we wanted, as Taylor there able to strip it. Here's a three from Abascal. No good. Tried to get her own rebound. It is going to stay with Eureka. Abascal maybe thinking that she tipped it out of bounds after she went to go chase the ball down.
You know what I love to see from Coach Under here is Taylor. We haven't seen her much this year, but giving the girl an opportunity to prove herself right here off the bench for the Red Devils. Blowout games, this is what you have to do. You have to take advantage of those, and she had that hustle play to get the steal.
That's all you can ask for, too. Obviously, Taylor, she did transfer from Antelope Valley. She's a junior this year. She only had 29 games her freshman season. So, yeah, it's always good to see new players.
Yeah, and they know that this is an opportunity that they have to do to take advantage, or what they show Coach what they can do.
And you can see they're trying to get Taylor involved as Moore puts that one up and in to extend Eureka's lead. 78-34, 6.5 left to go here in this final quarter. Frey, top of the key, heavily guarded, bounce pass. Here's a three-pointer, no good. Moore with the rebound. And you can see how quickly Eureka gets into transition. Moore pushing the pace, puts it up, and it spins in.
Just that quick move there from Moore, showing her speed right there, getting up and down the court, and finding herself wide open for an easy layup.
That's all you can ask for from each and every player. Moore now at 6 points. It's going to be Reish guarding Frey. And Abascal in the paint takes it away. Crossover move. She'll have a nice, easy layup opportunity, and she loses the basketball.
And she looks over to the bench in disgust. She knows that she had an easy layup there as the teammate comes and passes on the back. Something you can look back at later and laugh.
Yeah, and once again, just moving a little too fast there, but not really like it matters too much, as Eureka now leading 80-34. Looks like Moore out for now, a little bit tired over there.
Being the Energizer's buddy really wears you out.
Yep. Blackburn trying to find an answer as Reese picks it off. She will have an opportunity. Nice, easy layup, and good. Eureka extending their lead here in this fourth quarter. Reach now with 8 points to her account. Keep in mind, Reach has played a pretty clean game all night. 0 fouls either. So Frey losing the basketball. It is recovered over there by Gent. Frey thought about a 3. Mitchell, top of the key. Pump fake. Goes up to the rim. Outside. Kwiatkowski with a 3. That'll miss by a wide margin. And it'll roll out of bounds. Clock stopping just over 5 minutes. And it looks like over there, Blackburn head coach Alan DeHorty taking a timeout.
Yep. You love to see Eureka's bench really getting active and getting in this game. I know we talk about the main guys right off the bench, the main girls right off the bench, you know, doing their jobs, doing their part. You love to see that. You love to see all the extra effort from them as well today. But what about the girls that they just came in the game, like Taylor, Flipstein, and all them coming off the bench and making an impact right away, still getting steals, still keeping that pressure up, showing Coach Hendrick why they deserve to be in the game, what they can do if he gives them a chance in the game, just proving themselves. And that's what you have to do when you're up by a lot and you get that chance. I mean, you got to keep it up at practice, too. You got to do it at practice, too. But whenever you get that chance in the game, you can't let that opportunity just go by the wayside.
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly. Something to remember. Remember, Blackburn actually won the league sportsmanship award last season. And, you know, not to sound harsh here, but typically the teams who win the sportsmanship awards are the teams who are a little bit more light going when it comes to the sport. But, I mean, even here tonight, Blackburn has put up a good amount, 34. Obviously, Eureka still not really giving them a lot of opportunities, but they're still finding ways to get through. And for the first time tonight on Eureka, we are going to see Katie Hafner on the floor. Hafner, remember, she is a senior out of Camelot, Illinois. Zarello fighting through contact, puts it up, and no good. She will get fouled and get sent to the line, though. That is a very great job by Alyssa Zarello. I always find it very difficult. Obviously, we mentioned she was fighting through the contact, but still just being able to get the shot up. Like, that's always the hardest thing to do, in my opinion, as she knocks the first one down there.
Yeah, because I feel like there's a lot of times where you're trying to put the shot up, but you don't get it up because there's so much contact. And then the refs just think it's on the floor foul, where it's not the case. You're actually trying to get the shot up. Great offensive rebound.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's going to be Hafner mid-range. No good. This one's going to be rebounded by Mitchell. And she'll take it up the floor. Zarello only going 1 for 2. Something to think about, though, is that Zarello, you know, she's not even afraid to really give up the body for the sport. We've seen her kind of bang around on the floor quite often, and I'm honestly surprised she isn't even hurt yet. It's always something to think about, but she's been doing a great job defensively. Pass across the court under the net, and it's going to be Harris with a nice, easy layup. So with 4:13 left to go, Eureka still leading 83-36. Abascal, top of the key, Zarello in the corner, heavily guarded by Harris. More contact, and she gets it up and in.
What a finish. You could have argued that there could have been a foul call there, but did not matter the contact. Did not matter. Still able to find a way and finish the layup.
Zarello now with 7 points on the night. And she picks it off there. Going to take it to the rim. Trying to execute. Gets it up and good. Way to, you know, whenever you get that fast break opportunity, a lot of players kind of slam the ball into the backboard a little too hard, but Zarello able to slow down her feet just at the right time to knock it down. Frey thought about a deep mid-range.
Yeah, you just got to be smooth with those layups there. Don't try and do too much.
Abascal nearly picked it off, and it honestly looked like Harris there kind of grabbed Abascal to try to prevent her from getting to the basketball.
Abascal is also one of those players that's been all over the court tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
For her little demeanor, little size, you know, getting all those offensive rebounds. I feel like I've seen her all over the offensive glass all night tonight.
Yeah, Abascal with 6 points of her own. She does have 3 fouls, so maybe playing a little rough out on the floor, but here's another foul call. So 3:21 left to go in this game. Eureka on top, 87-36 here on EC 103.1. Matthew Swan, my broadcast partner Andrew Schulte here at the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Zarello, great hands-up defense. Here's a 3 from Kwiatkowski, no good. Rebounded there by Hafner. Eureka taking it up the floor. Large pass, Rutherford in the paint, puts it up and good. So Eureka just short of reaching 90 points. And Schulte, do you think they're going to get triple digits here tonight?
I was just thinking that, Maddie. I was just thinking that. You never know. It could happen. But you have to think that you wouldn't have thought they kind of would have slowed it down here on Blackburn, but no, all gas, no brakes here for the Red Devils today. And I'd love to see that. Making a statement in your first SLIAC game. Letting those guys look at the box score and see what you guys can do, what you're about.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool for sure. Here's a wide shot by Eureka. Rutherford trying to put it back up. And I guess this one is going to...
Jump ball. It looks like Eureka retains possession.
Yeah, remember, though, Eureka actually gave up triple digits themselves against Knox in that home opener. They lost 101-70. So Knox barely just getting over that triple-digit mark. Rutherford trying to pass it, picks it up. Zarello puts it up. Good. Zarello having a game.
For Eureka, Candace Geyser just came in, the freshman. Good chance for her to prove herself as well. You know, another one of those opportunities. Coach Hendricks giving out these opportunities. They just need to take the advantage of them.
Yeah, I mean, when you're up by so much, it's pretty common to see all these players you don't usually see on the floor make their appearance, and that's exactly what Coach Hedrick has decided to do. This one picked off by Taylor, and the layup is good. Eureka 93, Blackburn 38, just under 2 minutes left to go.
This is what you like to see from the subs, you know, keeping that same intensity that the starters brought the game out with.
Here's Frey fighting in the paint. Mitchell puts it up. That'll go. And although they're giving up a lot of points, Blackburn is starting to find their own kind of flow. Taylor, top of the key, directing traffic. Rutherford between the legs. Puts it up over Harris, but no good. And Zarello quickly gets it, puts it up. No good. She tries to get it back in bounds. Zarello fighting for it. And once again, Zarello playing in a lot of contact. Really giving up her body there. Not really afraid to get fouled. It is going to stay with Blackburn. Mitchell will be the one to inbound it. So 1:21 left to go. Eureka on top, 93-40.
You have to think here Blackburn will take a lot of time off the clock here. They don't want Eureka to break the 100 mark. They don't want it to happen. It's 93-40. They're going to take a lot of time off the clock, try and slow it down.
Yeah, I mean, from Blackbird's point of view, it already looks bad enough. You don't want to give Eureka that opportunity there. Frey, a lot of contact, a mismatch. Zarello on her. Hafner. Now it's going to be Mitchell. Back to Frey. Just under a minute left to go. Frey fighting through contact, puts it up and good.
Good finish.
Yeah, that's exactly that mismatch we were talking about. Frey, guarded by Zarello, putting it up now, and unfortunately unable to connect from Eureka. Blackburn will retain it. And it's going to be Kwiatkowski taking it up the floor. Abascal took a spill there. Harris is going to go for the nice easy layup, but she misses. Recovered by Eureka. Rutherford, 30 seconds to go here. Rutherford will put it up and good, 95-42. And with 27 seconds left, I don't think Eureka will be able to reach triple digits here.
They're still trying to steal the ball with 20 seconds left. You love to see that aggression, though.
Yeah, they are definitely trying to, for sure. And it looks like now they're finally going to put it to rest as they're just going to try to play defense here. Kwiatkowski with a three. That is good. But just 11 seconds left, so Eureka could just hold on to it. And I'm sure that's exactly what they'll do is Abascal dribbling near the Blackburn Beavers logo at half court. And just like that, the clock runs out, and that is the ball game. So Eureka winning their first SLIAC matchup of the season by a score of 95-45. Huge point deficit, and that's exactly how you want to start the season.
You know, 50-point win there from Eureka. You love to see that going into SLIAC play. That will really boost this team's confidence going forward. As you have to feel for the Blackburn Beavers only having 7 players, but Eureka, they had that advantage. They never took the foot off the gas. They knew what they had to do. They came into this place and they took care of business here in Carlinville. They took care of business here at Blackburn University.
That's exactly right. And a lot of key players on this Eureka team. Obviously, you have Redgate. She put up a great amount of points. She had 8 to her account. Unfortunately, she was injured and taken out for the rest of the game. You hope to see she's okay. She's walking around right now. And then you have Zarello also, just like Redgate, coming off the bench, putting up 13. And all around, just great offense and defense from Eureka. And that'll wrap things up for this women's game. We are going to be broadcasting the men's game, which will be right up after this. So stay tuned. We will be back shortly. But for now, thank you for listening to Eureka Red Devils basketball on EC 103.1. Again, Matthew Swan, my broadcast partner, Andrew Schulte, live from the City Blues Technology Broadcast Booth.